by Channel 4, the local station. This is Look Local.
Welcome to Look Local. I'm Karen Adams, and we hope you're doing well this afternoon. This is the place where we celebrate the best and the brightest of where we live and the distinct charm and character of Jacksonville. We do that by reminding you when you're looking for something to do or for someone to help, it's always better to look local. And today we are featuring Moosehaven, the Silver Tsunami, and a K9 for Warriors that are going to be here for the entire half hour. So let's meet our guests, and we'll learn a little bit more about each and every one of them before we break it down, and then we get more in depth. So, Marina, we'll start with you.
Hi, Karen. I'm glad to be back. I'm Marina Matthews. I am the Director of Marketing at Moosehaven. Been there 12 years. Absolutely love it. My job is to inform our community and, in fact, the nation what we are, who we are, and what we do for our community.
Wonderful. All right. And you.
Hi, I'm John Capes. I'm the Executive Director of Moosehaven, and I've also been there about 12 years. And I'm like Marina, I'm here to talk about Moosehaven and what we are, who we are, what we do, but also to talk a little bit about our Heart of the Community program. Okay,
and that's a very rewarding program that gives back to the community, so we can't wait to hear about that. All right, and let's see a little bit what you have to offer today.
I'm Brett Simon, President and co-founder of K9s for Warriors. We're a local nonprofit here in the Jacksonville area that provides service dogs to military veterans.
Okay.
And our service dog program is mostly shelter and rescue dogs locally here from Florida and around several states. So we're helping out to get the dogs out of the shelters and put them in the hands of our veterans.
All right, and Brett has actually brought along your service dog that you use on a daily basis, and we're going to meet that dog, Lincoln, in just a couple of minutes. So thank you so much for coming in, you guys.
Sounds great.
All right. But we begin today with Marina Matthews, who is the director, the marketing director out at Moosehaven, as well as John Capes, who is the executive director of Moosehaven. I think before we start, just in case we have any newcomers or people that have maybe just tuning in for the first time, explain to people at home what Moosehaven is.
Well, Moosehaven is a retirement community.
Okay.
And it serves members of the Loyal Order of Moose, which is a fraternity.
Okay.
And been in Orange Park since 1922.
Wow, so it's been there a long time.
Long time.
Okay.
And it's a full range of services all the way from independent living through enhanced living and skilled nursing, and we offer specialized programs for Alzheimer's, both adult daycare type programs and also residential programming for them. It's one of the 3 missions of the Moose. The first mission is obviously taking care of seniors.
Sure.
And the second mission is to take care of children, and that's done on a campus up in Mooseheart, Illinois, which is by Batavia, Illinois. Okay. And then the third one is to serve the communities we're located in.
Okay. Well, we're going to get more into that. You guys, it's a large facility that you have out there, and it's a beautiful campus. If you've not been out there, it's in Orange Park. And so as we're looking at some of the wonderful drone video that you have taken of Moosehaven, how many acres is this, guys?
63 acres where we are.
Okay. And then on the property, you have, like you said, independent living, you have more skilled nursing. So the great thing about Moosehaven is when you go to enroll, to become a resident there, then as your condition maybe changes or as we age, we may need more services. You don't make people leave and find another facility, do you? How does that work, John?
That's exactly how it works. As you age and as your needs become greater, we are able to move you to a higher level of care. But we do deliver a lot of services right in the home.
Okay.
We have what's called a campus nurse program, 24/7 aid and nurse available. And our philosophy is to keep people at the lowest level of care as long as we can. So by the time you've moved into the higher level of care, your needs are pretty advanced.
Right, okay. And, you guys do a lot of things for the community. And one of the things that they have coming up is the Silver Tsunami event. Let's talk a little bit about the Silver Tsunami event and how this all works together. And we'll get more into it as the show goes on, the half hour goes on. But that's the important event that's about to happen.
Absolutely. The Silver Tsunami event was designed to be a one-stop shop for seniors in our community to come in and speak and ask questions to a panel of experts on whatever the topic happens to be. November is a high-profile Veterans Day and veterans surrounding events in November, and so our benefit or Our Silver Tsunami is veterans benefits. Do you know what's out there for you? So
Okay.
we've already had a lot of people register. It is limited seating. So
Okay.
I would encourage people, we'll show later how to register and encourage them to get online or give us a call.
All right, and you know, one of the guests that's coming up next, and I want to get to him, is Brett Simon. He is the president and co-founder of the Canine for Warriors. So he's going to be along momentarily, and he's just one of the many experts that, I guess, people that maybe suffer from any sort of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. This will be addressed at this upcoming tsunami, because you say it's all kind of evolving around veterans.
Right.
So that's the tie-in there.
Right, not so much with the Canines for Warriors, although we welcome them anytime,
Right.
but mainly letting people ask what is out there, what is available, and we have Veterans Service Center officers that'll be there to answer questions.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a lot of disabled vets that are residents of the Moose and members of Moosehaven?
We have a lot of veterans. Not so much disabled veterans in the sense of physically disabled. We do see some aspects of service. Right, because of aging now, most of our veterans are Korean War, and we're starting to see Vietnam vets also on campus. I don't believe we have a World War II vet left now.
Well, a lot of those guys are much older now. My uncle is still alive, and he's 90, and he's a World War II vet. So as the population ages, then yeah, I guess you would automatically then fall back to the Korean War or the Vietnam War.
Right.
Right, a little bit younger folks. So how many folks do you have out there? How many patients or residents do you have of the Moosehaven?
308.
Okay, that's great. And you have everything, though, from like independent living, as you said, and people can pretty much live on their own in independent facilities, almost like apartments and so forth.
It's truly an age-in-place environment. As John said, they may change location, but it's still on our campus. The good thing about that is in a spousal situation, if one spouse has to move up to a higher level of care, they can just get on their golf cart or they can get on their bike and go visit or walk to the next building. They don't have to get in a car and drive somewhere to go visit.
That's great. And you guys have you give so much back. They give so much back to the community. Well, a little bit. Can you touch on some of what you do? I know we just got through with Halloween. So you had tons of kids out there, right?
Absolutely.
This is a safe environment for parents to bring your kids to trick or treat, the little ones. And then all of the residents get to the benefit of being able to see all the little kids in costumes come out.
Yeah, we have a program. It's called Heart of the Community.
Okay.
And the focus of the program is family-friendly, child-safe, affordable program, entertainment, whatever. And I need to talk, I think, just a little bit about Halloween, because Halloween at Moosehaven really had its genesis as a result of a tragedy. A young girl, her name was Summer Thompson, was kidnapped and sexually assaulted and murdered, and her body was found in a landfill in Georgia.
I remember that.
Yes.
That was back in, don't tell me, but I think it was like 2009 or 2010.
Right, yes.
Yes.
And at that point, because of the tragedy and the immediacy of the tragedy, because she only lived a couple blocks away from us, and we were pretty heavily involved in the search for her, I made a decision, along with the team,
Sure.
that we needed to do something. We needed to reach into the community, and what kind of immediately came to mind was we got Halloween. We got an opportunity to offer an environment for parents to bring their children and be able to do the good old-fashioned trick-or-treat, walk down the street. Our residents,
Safe.
yeah,
And they're safe.
And the residents could give them candy.
Yes.
And so this year we had about 3,400 visitors to the campus. We gave out 4,000 pounds of candy. So they left dragging their candy bags behind them.
Well, and if I recall correctly, wasn't she walking home from school?
Yes, she was.
And she was by herself at that moment.
Yes.
And there was a neighbor who had been watching that was in the house and somehow got a hold of her.
Yep.
So, and she was in a relatively safe community.
Oh, very safe.
But
yeah.
you just don't ever really know, and let that be a warning to all parents, you just don't really know who your neighbors are. And it's really always better if they can be in groups, because in this day and age, it's just not safe anymore. It really isn't. I just have to say that as a parent, because that's something that the days of letting kids run around on bicycles are over. And I know that hits home for me, because I have a daughter who's 13, so I worry about those things. But I think that's great how you turned the tragedy into a safe thing, and it was around the beginning of school starting, so that's why I guess Halloween was a natural fit to do something.
And you know, Karen, it's such an intergenerational benefit. Our residents love interacting with children that are from our community, and the children enjoy the interaction when they're getting candy. It's not just walking by. There's usually, you know, some conversation between the residents and children.
They get a big kick out of it.
Oh, they
All
do.
the kids dressed up in costumes.
Well, and our residents dress up. A lot of our residents dress up.
Oh
yeah, they're young at heart.
Oh, I love it. All right, well, stay with us because our special half hour with Moosehaven, the Silver Tsunami, and K9 for Warriors. We'll be right back. Up next, we are going to be focusing on K9 for Warriors. So stay right back. Welcome back. We are continuing our special half hour on Moosehaven, the Silver Tsunami, an upcoming event. And now we're ready to talk to Brett Simon, who has brought along with him his dog named Lincoln. And Brett is the president and co-founder of K9 for Warriors, K9s for Warriors. And we are so happy to have you here, Brett. Tell us a little bit about what made you, get started in this, and what was your cause and your motivation?
Okay, well, the company was actually, K9s for Warriors was the idea of my mom, Sherry Duvall. So I was in law enforcement for a little over 15 years, and I ended up working in Iraq as a DOD bomb dog handler for 2 years in 2005 and 2009, and was diagnosed with PTSD. And I'd trained dogs for a while. My mom thought it was a great idea. She saw the science of helping veterans with dogs for disabilities. And we put it together, and she gave me a call actually while I was in Iraq over Skype and asked me if I'd want to start this nonprofit with her, and we did that about 8 years ago now.
Well, I think that's wonderful. So I'm looking at, what type of dog is Lincoln? He looks like a German Shepherd mix to me. He looks like a smart dog.
Lincoln is a Belgian Malinois. He's about 1.5 years old now.
Okay.
And my retired dog is Reagan. She's at home. She's 11. She was with me for 7 years.
Oh my. And tell me what kind of, now with your specific condition, it's post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD.
Correct.
So your dog Lincoln is trained specifically to help you. What type of training did Lincoln have to go through, and what types of things does Lincoln do for you?
So for PTSD, which is usually more of the anxiety aspect of everything with the dog, he will interrupt my behavior. So if I'm starting to get nervous or what, he'll start licking on me, he'll start pushing my hand, come up in my chest, on my lap. We also teach him, if you hold your hands on your head on your lap, then the dog will come up and disturb it, because a lot of times that's a sign of distress that people are getting a little anxious, and so he'll interrupt that behavior. A little bit like he is right now. Sit.
He can tell you're nervous a little bit, so he's kind of trying to protect you.
We'll put him down.
Oh,
he's
you
too
don't
low
have to
now.
All right, so tell, in what other types of services are available for vets, the K9s for Warriors? So let's say in your specific example, it was post-traumatic stress disorder. But in someone else's case, I'm sure the dogs have to go through different types of training before, they're up to speed on what their particular owner is going to need.
Right, so at K9s for Warriors, we train for post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma, and limited mobility. So all of them except for mobility have the mental aspect part of PTSD to it, the anxiety, the isolation, things of that nature. So the dogs can bring that out of them. The dogs can notice when it's happening and interrupt them. For the isolation, which is one of the biggest things with veterans, is isolating in their homes and not coming out, they have to take care of the dogs. So we're giving them a responsibility back again. When I teach the classes in the beginning, when they're in the military, they have somebody there left or right, their brother or sister, and you're always taking care of that person. When they get out, they've not lost that, but it's not there anymore, and we're giving it back to them because they have to care for the dog, which means they have a responsibility again. They got to get out and do training, get the dog out for exercise, things of that nature, so we know they're not staying indoors. Okay. For the mobility part, we teach the dogs to brace, to help off assistance off the ground, out of a chair, maybe retrieve an item that somebody is unable to pick up. Lincoln does that for me. We do have one dog that actually takes his socks and shoes and everything off his handler. and takes care of him because he can't move, bend at his waist. Funny part about that is his kid learned that the dog will pick up toys and clean up her room. And she would tell her to, so the dog was cleaning up the daughter's room and helping out.
I love that. That's so cute. All right, well, stay with us here because I want to ask Marina and John now, you know, this is all, I mean, having them as part of the segment today is so helpful. We're focusing on veterans and the Silver Tsunami and all this coming together because, as you said, this is kind of Veterans Awareness Month. So the Silver Tsunami, explain what the Silver Tsunami is again and how, you know, they're going to have someone out there from the Canines for Warriors. So if you have any questions, how can people, you know, what can they do to become better informed?
Well, the Silver Tsunami is an open event. If you want to register, you can call or visit our website. Okay. Basically, we offer a panel of experts to be able to answer questions. It's a very casual environment. We serve a great lunch, and we also have our panel there, and you can ask the questions that you want to know. The Veterans Administration Services will have folks there for us to answer any questions as far as what will the veterans benefits pay for as in the senior retirement. And
you said some of the dogs that we just saw, and we're going to go back and talk a little bit more with Brett here in a second, and Lincoln, who's lying down next to him. A lot of these dogs are rescues.
Exactly. They have rescue dogs, and they train them based on what the need is for a particular warrior. And I think we have people that are getting involved with that, right?
Yeah, tell us how that works.
Yeah, we have actually 2 staff members who have now contacted Canines for Warriors and done whatever it is they need to do. They're going to start raising puppies for Canines for Warriors now, and it's going to be interesting. I got a call just before we went on. Are they going to be able to bring the dogs to work? Well, yeah, that's okay.
Well, that's the whole thing, because if they're training to be service dogs, part of the training is to be able to go to all the places that humans go. This is before they're ready to even be handed off, you know, to whomever they're going to work with permanently. But a puppy in training gets the same clearance as a service dog with it's carte blanche. They can go anywhere, airplanes, restaurants. There's nowhere they cannot go. Is that right?
That's correct.
And so Moosehaven's one of them. You're going to have to deal with it, right, John?
We've got pets all over the place anyway, so a couple more won't matter.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so let's go back now. Let me ask Brett. Brett, you're going to be, you know, I don't know if you specifically are going to be at the Silver Tsunami event, but you're going to have somebody from your organization?
Yes, we'll have a group of volunteers that are out there, and then also one of our graduates who will be there with his service dog.
Okay, so let's say somebody at home one of the viewers is watching right now, and maybe they have a loved one in their family who's been in maybe the Iraqi war or somebody older, maybe in one of the Korean War. Can they, you know, what do they need to go through to be able to adopt a dog? Because maybe this can help somebody that's at home watching right now.
So our program right now, and we hope to expand in the future, is for post 9/11 veterans that served Iraq and Afghanistan. That have a diagnosis of PTSD, traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma, or mobility. And they can go to our website, caninesforwarriors.org. There is an online application process. The waiting list is about anywhere from 13 to 15 months at this time to receive a dog due to the time in training. And then we also run a class every single month. So January through December, we have anywhere from 8 to 12 veterans on our campus, stay for 21 days. And they get a great service dog that came from a shelter or rescue.
Okay, now let me ask you this. What if they already have a dog at home that's a regular pet? That dog probably, and I don't know if they have to be trained, if their puppies are at a young enough age, number one, and so the question is, could they potentially train a dog that they already own? And number two, if they get a dog, a service animal, will that dog, does it always get along with the dog coming into the house? I don't know if somebody already has a dog.
It does happen. There are personally trained service dogs that are out there. Canines for Warriors has chosen to be the owners of the dogs, so that way we have accountability going forward after they graduate. But a person that owns a dog, if it has the right qualities, can self-train a service animal for themselves.
Okay, all right.
And the second part with dogs are dogs. Most of the time they all get along. You know, we have a lot of our graduates that have dogs at home. We teach them how to introduce the dogs out of the house first and let them get used to each other before they come in, and then start their daily life together to see how they're going to pan out.
I love that. This is some very valuable information. All right, so Brett, thank you so much, and thank you for bringing Lincoln in and giving us kind of an update. So we're going to be back in just a second. We're going to talk a little bit more about some phone numbers if you're interested in going out to the Silver Tsunami event, as well as the chili cook-off that's coming up as well. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I have Marina Matthews and John Capes just to kind of talk about your chili cook-off that's coming up, and then let's remind people when the Silver Tsunami event is.
Okay.
All right.
Our chili cook-off is this Saturday,
All
November
right.
10th. We kick the day off.
My Marine brothers will recognize November 10th. That's Marine Corps birthday.
Okay,
Absolutely.
all right.
John is a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. We start the day off with a community breakfast. It's an $8 donation. And of course, we're supporting Canines for Warriors. And the breakfast runs from 7:30 until 10. At 10 a.m., we kick off the chili cook-off. We actually have cook teams coming from all over the nation. So if you like chili, come. It's a free event. If you want to actually judge the chili, it's a $5 donation. But otherwise, the event is free. We have classic show cars coming. We have entertainment coming from Nashville, which John secured the entertainment. You want to talk about who's coming?
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, we have really done well this year. We've got Jimmy Allen coming in, and we've got Chris Lane coming in, and both are charting. In fact, Jimmy Allen is now the #1 watched video in this market.
Oh my gosh, well look at that. All right, and they're going to be there live in person, and that is this Saturday.
Yep.
The breakfast starts at 7 o'clock.
7:30.
7:30, but the chili eating is...
From 10 to 4.
10 to 4, unless you want to eat chili at 7 o'clock in the morning. It won't be ready yet.
It won't.
All
and there
right.
is no registration for that. All are welcome. We hope to see everyone there.
And where's that going to be? That's at Moosehaven?
At Moosehaven, 1701 Park Avenue in Orange Park.
All right, so all you got to do is cross over the Buckman Bridge if you're not from Orange Park, and you get off on Roosevelt. They get off on Roosevelt, and they're about a mile and a half down on your left. You can't miss them.
Nope.
All right, and then again, let's talk about when the Silver Tsunami event is. If anybody has questions for, just on this aging or veterans related.
Silver Tsunami, again, is there for us to be a resource to offer a panel of experts for seniors to ask questions. You do need to register, and that will be on Tuesday, November 13th. I'm sorry, next Tuesday.
Okay.
It's from 11:30 until 1, and we will offer at the end of the event tours of Moosehaven. And so
Nice.
you can see our campus, you can ask questions, get your questions answered by a panel of experts on what is available for veterans.
And that's so important. Well, listen, thank you both for coming in today. It's been wonderful. We certainly enjoyed, Canines for Warriors as well. So thank you both.
Thank you for having us.
Good luck.
Thank you.
If you'd like more information on any of today's guests, you can go to news4jax.com/looklocal. And if you have a business that you would like to showcase or a cause that you would like to promote, you're more than welcome to come on Look Local. All you need to do is call me, Karen Adams, right here at the station, and I will call you back. Thanks for watching. We hope to see you next week for another Look Local.